right, my amigos, welcome back to part 2. No, it's part 3 of the show with no name, guys. I hope you're ready to rock. That's right, the second half, the third part. Bueno, así practicamos esa palabra half, que no se pronuncia half, right? Half, half. Say it with me. All right. Hello, everybody who's joining us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Vaughan Radio, also on iVox or iTunes. What's up? A shout out to all of you guys, wherever you're tuning in from. Always lovely to hear from you, my amigos. All right. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to your exciting English class. And well, guys, we've got a lot of unfinished business to tend to over here. So the first things first. ¿Cómo se dice esto en español? Vamos con lo primero. First things first. La primera cosa va primero, right? First things first, we need to listen to our Say What soundbite. Now, guys, this is the third listen, and I believe probably the most crucial one, right? El más crucial, the most important one, I would say, because, you've already had a couple chances and you only have one more chance. That's basically what I mean. Okay. So guys, that said, let's hear it. You got your pens? You got your notebooks? Good. Here we go.
Sheriff Horowitz, 2 tardies.
I object. Do you recall the dates of these alleged tardies?
One was last Monday.
Mr. Hall, I was surfing the Crimson Wave. I had to haul ass to the ladies.
All right. There we go, guys. That's the last. No, it's not. Just joking. Just making sure you guys are paying attention out there. You guys are going to hear that one more time. So you get one more time, one more chance to jot all that stuff down. Para apuntar todo eso. Okay, my amigos. So that said, we've got to keep moving along because we've got a lot of stuff to do. We need to solve today's double trouble. Now, the double trouble section, as I said, was, a little bit, I guess it seemed easy, but it's got, it's got a preposition. It could make it a little bit more difficult. So, hay un pasillo largo en la sala, right? Ahora, vamos a ver cómo si, vamos por partes, let's break it down, desglosando. Hay. Ok, pues primero, cada vez que vemos la palabra hay en inglés, ¿no? En español tienes una palabra. Hay uno, hay dos. En inglés no. There is one, there are two. Right? So, right there, lo primero que decir, hay un. Ya voy con there is. Contraído, there's. So, there's, que yo lo contraigo, because I'm a native speaker. A native speaker contracts when they speak. Naturally. Right? So, hay un pasillo largo. There's a long, me gusta extender esta palabra. Esta palabra está hecha para eso, ¿no? There's a long, I love when words are like that, when words are fun, right? When you can, you put extra O's and the word itself looks like a tunnel, with an L and a G at the other end. So there's a long hallway. Now, you can call it, in the United States, you can call it a hall. Now, I say the United States because we're going to look at it now. The British call it something else. They say something different for pasillo, right? Now, for us, in the United States, un pasillo, en tu casa, o en el cole. In fact, one of the places we used to hang out, donde quedábamos, in high school, en el instituto, was in the hallways, right? In the halls. Se puede usar ambas palabras. H-A-L-L o H-A-L-L way, todo junto, right? The hall or the hallway. So now the British say corridor. Yes, they say corridor. That's lovely, isn't it? Now, whichever one you prefer. Now, I always tell my students, if you're in England, well, maybe you should say corridor so you don't get any funny looks from anyone, But if you're in the United States, we don't call it a corridor. No, we call it a hall or a hallway. All right, so over here, in fact, I can give you an example in context, okay? So when we were locked down right? Now we can go out for an hour a day and my daughter and my dog can get some air, right? But when we were, on lockdown in the middle of March, my hallway or my hall, mi pasillo, se convirtió en Space Mountain para mi hija, para que no se aburriera. I didn't want her to get bored. So I also was thinking about buying, because we have a hallway. Our apartment isn't very big, but we have a nice hallway, which is long, right? And so I thought about getting a bowling ball and some pins, unos bolos. We call them pins, the ball and the pins. Yeah, a long hallway. Have you guys ever been to Grupo Vaughan's headquarters, La Sede, at 69 Orense Street? Those are some serious hallways. I mean, I've never seen halls like that, right? So, otra vez, seguro que mis compañeros say, oh, Vaughan has very long corridors. Okay, so good. Ahora, en la sala. Now, a sala can be a room. We all know that, right? Sala. Pero en el, vamos a decir si estamos hablando de sala sol, ahí está hablando de una sala como una habitación. No, es como una sala de reuniones, una sala de bodas, right? Esa palabra es hall. H-A-L-L, igual. Okay? So if you can envision, you can see that, right? There's a long hallway in the hall, right? The reception hall, the wedding hall, right? There's a lot of different, you'll see this. You'll see it in universities too. I lived in Bone Hall at my university. Bone es el nombre del hombre, no el hueso. B-O-H-N. Bone Hall. La sala, no? Bone. So I know you guys, I don't know if you were familiar with this word, but it's a pretty rich word. Tiene bastante chicha, as you say in Spanish, right? So hay un pasillo largo en la sala. There's a long hall in the hall, right? Y de hecho, te doy una expresión que ya me recuerda eso. It reminds me of that. To be in it for the long haul. Eso es cuando te casas y dices, yo estoy aquí para siempre. I'm in it for the long haul. Okay? Ese hall se escribe un poco diferente. Es H-A-U-L. Okay? All right, guys. So, good one there. And I got to say something. I see a lot of my students figured it out. So, you know what I'm going to give you right now. And I love it. Te voy a film. It's true. Ahora que lo pienso y que lo diga. Que lo dices, man. You guys say, es el hall de tal. Es verdad. Lo he oído. And so she's saying that's a word, un anglicismo, that has been now taken in and used in Spanish. So, muy bien. Pues, a ver, I don't like anglicismo. I think if you're speaking Spanish, you're speaking Spanish, or you're speaking English, you know. But, you know, it's good to know them, good to understand them, right? And so, good one over there. And also, there's one thing about this globalization that is good. You know, we're understanding each other more because we're using more similar languages and symbols, right? So, hall, right? He says hall is used like entrada instead of pasillo. I don't know. In England, you're saying? In the United States, the hall is right behind me over here, right? So, I don't know if you're saying sonrisa. If in England, I'm not too sure. Again, I'm not English and I've never lived there. Thank God. Not my, I like good weather. I got to say, just joking, guys. I hope you know that my little, friendly bickering with the British is just something we do. Es algo que hacemos, right? And it's friendly, of course, right? Okay, so amigos, there it is. That is today's Double Trouble. We've got to keep moving on, though, pero tenemos que seguir because we got a lot of stuff to do. So it's time to go to the cinema, as my British friends would say, or as I'd say, the movies.
Name that movie.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie, only on the show with no name. And what you guys have to do over here is figure out, well, what movie we're looking at here today. And as always, what we're going to do is learn some English from the dialogue and also maybe the title, maybe some of the things around the movie. All right, guys. So I love this movie. Okay, this movie for me, I'll give you some clues. It's a comedy. It's a stupid comedy, but stupid in the good sense. Okay, ridiculous, you know, sophomoric, if you will. But it's a remake of a movie. Lo estoy dando muchas pistas. So a remake es una película que se ha hecho, que es Hollywood now is all remakes, right? And that's all I'm going to tell you. But it's ridiculously funny, in my opinion. I've seen this movie over and over and over again. You could say I'm obsessed. All right, so I won't say anymore, guys. Here it is. Today's Name That Movie. All right? You, sir, what did you want to be? Oh, no, estoy haciendo el acento al revés, perdona. You, sir, what did you want to be when you grew up? I wanted to be a veterinarian. Cool. Why did you want to do that? Well, I wanted to help sick animals. And what do you do now? I own a chain of slaughterhouses. Whoa, kind of went the other way on that one. Anyone else? I wanted to be a magician. Oh, and what do you do now? I operate a pornographic website. Well, I guess that makes people happy too, in a much grosser way. All right, so let's see if you guys can figure it out. There's a lot of good stuff to learn from this dialogue, from this movie dialogue here. All right, so, Anybody figure out the movie? I did give you, I got to say, I was pretty nice with those clues, you know. No, Clara, it's not Dumb and Dumber, but good, you know, good one. Así vemos la B muda, Dumb and Dumber. No, it's not Dumb and Dumber, but good guess. Good guess. I said it was a silly sophomoric movie, right? Annick says Young Frankenstein. Okay. All right. All right. No idea. Gabriela, is that the name of the movie or is that your guess? Kubla says Clueless. Nope. It's not Clueless. Good movie, though, with Alicia Silverstone. Alicia Piedra Plateada. Estamos mucho con lo plateado hoy, ¿no? So, all right, os voy a dar otra pista. I'm going to give you guys a language clue right now, okay? La película, traducida literalmente, sería Señor, okay? Señor Escritura, okay? A property document, okay? O acto o acción, ¿no? Algo que hacemos, un acto o una acción. So, señor acto o acción, ahora lo vemos, o señor o don escritura. I can't give you any more hints than that. I just literally translated the title for you. Let's see if anybody, oh, Begonia, limon. Begonia nailed it on Facebook. Great job, Begonia. There's Kubla, there's Jay. Awesome job. There are my students. Yeah. That's right, my amigos. The movie is Mr. Deeds. Yeah. Te dije. So hacer algo, like if you do a good deed, you do something nice for someone, right? So you should do good deeds. It's a good thing to do, right? To help someone is to do a good deed, right? But also the deed is the paperwork that says you own your house. You say la escritura. We call it the deed. So la película se llama Mr. Deeds. No tiene nada que ver. Bueno, sí, tiene que ver con hechos. Señor Hechos, because it makes sense, right? In the movie, he does good deeds, right? O sea, tiene sentido en uno de ellos, right? pero luego, bueno, también pierde the deed, el papeleo, la escritura. Oh, maybe there's a double meaning there. All right, now, as I said, this movie is a remake. The original movie was, of course, called Mr. Deeds with Gary Cooper. Man, Gary Cooper. That one came out in 1936, right? Y no lo confundimos con copper, ya que estamos hablando de metales, silver and copper. So copper is C-O-P-P-E-R, copper, right? Copper. And Cooper, right, is someone who makes barrels. O sea, Bradley Barrilero, tonelero. Pues esto no es Bradley Cooper, esto es su bisabuelo, que no. Not, I don't know if they're related, but the original is Mr. Deeds. The original title was Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, right? Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. El señor Escritura o Hechos se va al pueblo, right? Also, to go to town es como adelante. So if you're like, Alberto, can I have some of that pizza? I said, yeah, go to town. Todo tuyo. So it's a good expression to learn from the original title. The movie we're looking at came out in the year 2002. And this one was just called Mr. Deeds, all right? Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. So Adam Sandler's my hero. My wife thinks he's a complete moron. My wife thinks he's just, but hey, I tell my wife, I go, well, a lot of people seem to find the guy having fun, I mean, a lot of people see the guy having fun and he's making money having fun. So, I guess he's not that bad, right? All right, well, I see a lot of people are starting to figure out today's Say What soundbite, which is great, guys. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit, but let's look at the text, the dialogue from this movie. If you haven't seen it, it's one of these movies, sometimes when you want to just watch something and just, mindless, you don't have to think, that's an Adam Sandler movie, okay? So they're in a board meeting, una reunión del comité, you say. A board meeting. Bored porque están aburridos, no, pero no se escribe así. Aunque es un homófono, right? It's a homophone. Bored, B-O-R-E-D, y board, B-O-A-R-D. They sound the same. Remember this, I never get bored when I ride my snowboard. Suenan igual, no se pronuncian igual, son homófonos. Perdona, no se deletrean igual, se pronuncian igual. I go too fast for myself. Okay, so they're in a board meeting and they're talking about what they really wanted to do, because we all have these dreams of what we want to do when we're kids. And then there's the reality of what we're doing, or how close that is, and our dreams and our reality, how close those come together and how often, right? And Adam Sandler's character, right, Deeds, Mr. Deeds, says, you, sir, señor, sir or madam, si queremos ser formales. What did you want to be when you grew up? ¿Qué querías ser cuando crecieras, de mayor, no? And he goes, I wanted to be a veterinarian. Now, a veterinarian, una palabra un poco larga, ¿no? Veterinario, veterinarian, se puede decir vet también, okay? I wanted to be a veterinarian. And he says, cool, qué chulo, ¿ves? Ahora sí, no solo querías ser un corporativo, working in a corporation. He goes, great. And he says, why did you want to do that? ¿Y por qué querías hacer eso? ¿Por qué elegiste eso? And the shareholder es accionista. ¿Ves? Hasta aprendemos del nombre del personaje. One of the shareholders says, I wanted to help sick animals. Quería ayudar a animales enfermos, ¿no? Enfermizos. And then Deed says, and what do you do now? He's like, oh, great. See, there are some great people in this room. You're not all blood-sucking, corporate types, right? And he's like, oh, good. Now we're getting somewhere. Ahora sí. And he goes, and what do you do now? ¿Y a qué te dedicas ahora? And he says, I own a chain of slaughterhouses. Soy el dueño. I own, poseo. I own a chain, una cadena, se dice igual, right, of slaughterhouses. Now, what is a slaughterhouse? A slaughterhouse is a place where you kill animals. Matadero, you say. So he's like, so of course, that wasn't the humor is that wasn't the answer he was expecting, obviously, right? And he goes, the exact opposite. He wants to help sick animals. Now he's killing them. He's slaughtering them in a slaughterhouse. And then he goes, kind of went the other way on that one. Te has ido al revés, al otro lado en ese, ¿no? En esa decisión. And then he's like, bueno, a ver si hay alguien. Now let's see if somebody has a positive story about their dreams and helping and doing something great, doing good deeds. And he goes, anyone else? ¿Alguien más? Y otro levanta la mano. Another guy lifts his hand, shareholder, and he says, I wanted to be a magician. Yo quería ser un mago. And the other one's like, good, okay. Well, what do you do now? ¿A qué te dedicas ahora? And he says, I operate a pornographic website. Pero una web pornográfico. And then Deeds is just like, oh my God, there's no, this is a hopeless situation. And he says, well, trying to, make the situation a little more normalize the situation. And he says, well, I guess that makes people happy too. Eso también le hace contento a la gente. And he goes, in a much grosser way, en una forma un poco más, bastante más asquerosa, in a much grosser way. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The movie is Mr. Deeds. If you haven't seen it, it's totally ridiculous. You also have the original too. So that's what I would do. Watch the original with Gary Barrilero and Gary Cooper. Looking like $1 million trooper. Trying hard to look like Gary Cooper. Super duper. If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Somebody said Young Frankenstein before. Ahí tienes tu Young Frankenstein. All right, well, guys, we've got a lot to do, and we don't have too much time. So I think it's time for a section where we look at words that sound the same. Perhaps. I'll leave it up to you.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, my amigos. You know it. It is definitely time for the homophone section. Now, this is where I need you to participate, as with many sections on the show. And I'm going to give you 2 words. I'll tell you the Spanish words. I'll read it from word reference. This way we don't trust my Spanish. A lot of times you guys write to me, ¿Cómo se dice esto en inglés? I'm like, pues no sé lo que es en español. So to the best of my ability, I'll tell you what these words are in Spanish. Then what I want you to do is I want you to tell me what the words are in English. Quite simple. Hasta ahí bien, ¿no? And then I want you to tell me if these 2 words sound exactly the same or not, thus being homophones. All right? So the first word in Spanish is salón, sala, auditorio, salón de actos, pasillo, corredor, vestíbulo, también, que es la entrada. Somebody said that on Instagram. That's another use of that word. Good job. Okay. Y es una palabra que usáis en español. It's a word you guys use in Spanish. It's a word we looked at in today's Double Trouble. Ahora sí que no tienes excusa. Okay, now the second word we looked at too, but briefly, rápidamente. No lo vimos. Vimos una expresión con ella. Te lo leo. The second word is arrastrar, tirar, o transportar. Okay. There's Javi Lopez. Javi, that was fast. Wow. Mary Carol, nos dices las palabras, pero suenan igual o no? Right? Javi and Kubla say that the words sound the same. All right, let's see what they got to say on Facebook over here. Anybody on Facebook? No? What are these two words? Morlajo says, yeah, they're homophones. Mary says, yeah. Cortés, I trust you, Cortés. You're another superstar student. All right, well, guys, again, those words, está bien que las practico yo también. Those words, the first word is auditorio, sala, salón de actos, como hemos visto antes, pasillo, corredor, vestíbulo, recibidor. Es que vale para todo, ¿eh? It works for everything. It's a wild card, como decimos, ¿no? And the second word that I want you to tell me is arrastrar o tirar. Ahora vamos a ver todos en contexto, ¿ok? Con expresiones, con todo, ¿ok? Cosas de pronunciación. So we're going to look at all this, don't worry, ¿ok? But the word is arrastrar, transportar también, acarrear. All right? So, guys, I see a lot of you guys are figuring it out. Some of you are saying, yeah. It seems like most of you guys are saying, yeah. You're saying, yeah, they're homophones. All right, well, guys, we are going to take a look at that and much, much more after this commercial break. I can't believe it myself, guys. We are right now 3/4 of the way through the show with no name. And I just want to thank you guys now, before we even go into the fourth part, for being here, for hanging out, for participating, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on iBox, iTunes, or simply on Vaughan Radio. Thanks for being here, and we look forward to seeing you in the final half an hour of today's program. So you guys know what I'm going to say. What am I going to say? Oh, yeah, I think it's stick around.